I've made it no secret that for my formative years, my free time was wholly consumed by Wattpad, which means that I have not read a lot of books published from 2013 to 2022. But this one probably takes the cake for being the most criminal because
I've never read Percy Jackson. It's not that I think I won't like it, I just have a bad habit of not finishing series once I start them. But today we are changing that and cementing in history the first time I read Percy Jackson. So let's get started. One good thing about the book is that despite the fact that it is such a popular series and it came out so long ago, I really don't know anything about the book. Like, obviously I know Percy Jackson, he's a half-blood. He goes to Camp Half-Blood. I know about Percy and Annabeth, but like I don't actually know anything about the plot of the book. Like, it hasn't overall been like spoiled for me, which I feel like is not very common when it comes to reading super popular series like so long after they've been published. But that's just gonna make this reading experience that much more fun. I read to page 54, which is 14% of the way through. Not much is super happening. We're kind of getting into some action right now. For the most part, it's just kind of been build up to some more stuff that's happening. So I'm on page 307 of The Lightning Thief, which is 78% of the book. And I will say, like, throughout the book, there's been quite a lot of action, which I find interesting. With, I feel like, most fantasy books, you really don't have that much action sprinkled throughout the book. But with the way Riordan has written The Lightning Thief, there's like action on like every page, which I'm thoroughly enjoying, and it's refreshing, I guess. I will say earlier in the book, I was thinking like, Percy is not asking the questions that he needs to be asking. Like, he's just kind of going through and just kind of like letting people offer up information, and I'm like, dude, there's so much that you don't know, and you're like just not asking questions like whatsoever. But then I thought, oh, I should probably give him a little bit of slack. He's like 11. He's 11. He's a sixth grade boy. His brain's not exactly operating on all cylinders. My Kindle says it's gonna take me about a little less than an hour to finish this book, and I've got about that much time before I've got to get moving. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna finish it. I finished reading Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief. Once I was like sitting down reading like the last like quarter of the book, the last like hour I had left of it, I was in the book. I was enraptured. But I finished the book and I got on Libby. It was gonna be several weeks before I could get my hands on the next book. So I did a little search, went on Amazon. They weren't on Kindle Unlimited. But anyways, I went ahead and bought physical copies of them, including the first one. I did go ahead and start the second book, which, looking at these, the second book is the shortest book out of the series. I started this book yesterday when I was at work. I read it for about 45 minutes yesterday, and then I probably read it today for about like 35 minutes. And then I read it for probably about like 15 minutes before I went to bed last night. 95, a little over an hour and a half. I'm on page 118. I am over a third of the way into the book. That just seems pretty fast to me. Anyways, I'm enjoying it so far. Love that, like, right off the bat in these books, immediate action. And this is one of those books, I feel like sometimes I have an easier time picturing what's going on in the book than other times. And this is definitely one of those books where I have a very clear picture in my head of what's going on. And I am loving it. It's been days, but I finished reading The Sea of Monsters, and I actually really enjoyed it. I loved Tyson and Rainbow. That was actually adorable. And tell me why it was like kind of making me a little bit emotional about Tyson. I was like, little baby Tyson, like, I would just put you in bubble wrap and you're just gonna hang over there and watch. Like, you don't need to get involved in all this. Now it is time to start reading The Titan's Curse. Yeah, third book in the Percy Jackson series. So, let's get started. I can't even tell you how long I've been reading this book, but I'm on page like 156. I am hoping to finish it today. This is like such a quick read and I haven't honestly like actually spent a lot of time reading it, but it's just been, I'm on a trip and there hasn't been like much time to actually like read the book, so. Ago I finished reading The Titan's Curse and it definitely took some turns that I was not expecting. Like some of the characters, the way they ended off the book, I was like, wait a minute, I was not expecting that. Slowly but surely we are making it to a point where that I am so excited for with some of the characters, and I'm like, I don't want to say like what it is because, you know, who knows, somebody watching this may have never read these books before, and something that has been so fun about reading these books is the fact that I really don't know what's gonna happen. So yesterday I was at the airport and I started reading The Battle of the Labyrinth. I'm a little less than like halfway through, so I'm home. I'm gonna sit down and I'm going to not move until I finish this book. I've got my water, I have got a bowl full of pickles. So I've got 4 different pickles right here. This is not relevant, but I've like had a very recent obsession with pickles. Like literally can finish like 3 jars of pickles in a week, but I like to have a variety. So I've got dill pickle slices, dill pickle spears. These ones from Trader Joe's, they're called cornichons, very tart. Okra pickles. I'm gonna munch on these pickles while I finish reading The Battle of the Labyrinth. What just happened? What just happened? Wait, yay. Guess what? I didn't finish the book in one sitting the other day like I said I was going to, but when do I ever actually do that? Never. No. I am currently like 20 pages into The Last Olympian. I'm on page like 243 of Percy Jackson, The Last Olympian. One of the characters in this book is annoying me a little bit. I'm going to sit here until I finish it. And I mean that this time, okay? I so often say, I'm gonna sit here till I finish this book, and then I don't. It's currently 3 o'clock. I've got until like 4:45 until I need to go start cooking dinner. I think I can read 120 pages in 100 minutes. Yeah, let's do it. I just had a genius thought, and I'm not going to tell you what my genius thought was, but I just had to let you know so that way I can come back later and tell you if I was right or not. But I have a genius hypothesis, I think. I am scared for what is about to happen. Like, genuinely afraid. I'm so scared. Oh my gosh. Gosh, I'm on like, the last chapter. Finished Percy Jackson. Now what am I supposed to do with myself? I finished The Last Olympian, which means I have now finished the whole Percy Jackson series. Is there another Half-Blood Hill series? Something that Rick Riordan said in the acknowledgements makes me think that there's another companion series. I had such a fun time reading this series. I don't know why I had never read it before. It was just one of those things that just got overlooked when I was a kid, and I had such a fun time reading it. I feel like sometimes when you get into books like that that do have a very intense background and like something that is more real, okay, like the Greek gods like weren't real, but the mythology behind them was very real. And I feel like sometimes books that are like heavily rooted in something that is real can just be a bit intimidating. You feel like you need to know like what's going on with all that stuff before you can like really understand the book, but I definitely did not feel that in this book. And I thought it was interesting because like reading these books, when you like finish one and start the next one, it would kind of give you like a little bit of like a refresher on everything that had happened in the previous book, which I thought was interesting. The romance, it definitely was a bit different than I was expecting, but I'm not complaining about it. I did really enjoy it. And I did really love how the series like ended. How like the whole conflict resolution like came to be and everything. Oh, one thing I forgot to say was that I think I was reading the end of the 4th book, and 2 of the characters were named Castor and Pollux. So clearly Suzanne Collins was drawing on Rick Riordan for some inspiration when she was writing the Hunger Games series, because 2 of the like bug guys on Katniss's like Propo team in Mockingjay are named Castor and Pollux. That was just like so fun. Fantasy authors like draw inspiration upon each other, and so just to see that like very clearly evident was just like kind of funny. I did have such a fun time reading these books. I am excited to read some more because from I guess really the time it came out, I had been wanting to read his books based on Norse mythology because I've always been such a huge Marvel fan. So, you know, like Thor and Loki and all of them come from Norse mythology. So I've always been like interested in reading those. The Magnus Chase books. Magnus Chase. Isn't Annabeth's name Chase? But I had such a fun time reading these books, and I can't wait to read more Rick Riordan. That is all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoy this type of content. Comment down below any 2000s, early 2010s books that you think that I should read if I haven't read them already, because I'm sure there are still a lot that I have missed. And subscribe to my channel for more bookish content in the future. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!